Let me first and foremost apologize for the following recording has some explicit content. So if you're listening with the children around, I do implore you to put the children to bed before continuing. I do thank you guys for listening. Now let's continue. It is Friday, September 6th, 2024. This is Daniel. I am up at 1 a.m. because my mind is like everywhere, man. It's like, I can't sleep. And I know I got to be up early in the morning. I got something to do early in the morning, but man, this awareness just doesn't want to stop, and it's just revealing a lot of things, man. It's teaching me something. I kid you not. You would think the devil is upon me, but I don't think this is the devil at all. It's just it's just something I asked for. I asked God, for this kind of wisdom to continue to send me wisdom my way. Send the wisdom my way. Send me something I don't know. Send me something that is blocking my brain from understanding certain things about the world and myself and everything, right? Not that I'm trying to be smart. I am trying to gain awareness and understanding of certain things, and of course the things that keep us weak at times, right? And knowing our weakness and understanding our weakness and embracing our weakness and our strengths too, right? I kind of got I ain't finished reading the article or whatever, but I was just kind of like jotting down certain ideas on my kind of not my vision board, but this little board I have that I mark up all the time. And basically, I want to talk today about lust, man. Defeating lust once and for all. You know, and I think we could get there. Whoever's kind of struggling with sexual sin or sexual lust in that sense, and they just cannot fight the urges, and they tend to go to pornography and use pornography for a release or an escape or what have you, or they dealing with so much lustful nature that they are committing adultery, or just playing with the idea of adultery and flirting and being open to all kinds of other people, I would say. This recording may help you guys in a sense, as it is somewhat helping me in a sense. Like I'm totally aware of my weakness, right? And we have to understand that we are weak. We have to, first and foremost, the one thing you have to do is acknowledge where you're weak at. First, acknowledge where you're weak, right? And if sexual lust is where you're weak at, if you're if your knees get weak at a sight of another person, whoever it might be, if you, let's say if you're a man, if your knees get weak at the sight of beautiful woman, and you can't help yourself but to go out and flirt, or just think of all these crazy ideas and thoughts, this recording may be for you. Same deal for the woman. If you feel like you're dealing with a sexual desire, even though you're married or what have you, or you don't have to be married, of course, but if you're just trying to control your flesh and control the urges, you have to first acknowledge where you're weak at, right? Acknowledge your weakness, and then we could start to change, right? We could start to do things that'll help, and I'm gonna try to help you guys as these things that I'm looking at and learning. Everything that I'm reading, including the Bible, the Word of God, is helping me to cope and understand the way of the world, understand my flesh, how I feel, how I am at this time, and now I'm on the journey of actually defeating lust once and for all. So, like I said before, first step, acknowledging your weakness. Now, that does not mean reminisce on your weakness, right? It does not mean to reminisce on your weakness. When I mean by reminisce, I'm talking about thinking about all the things that you are weak to, and not just sexual nature, not just sexual lust. I'm talking about every single thing that you do and fail at. We are not to reminisce on that. We are not to ponder and think about that. Everything that you have failed at, do not, and I repeat, do not think about it and reminisce on it. We have to understand when we're thinking about sexual lust, understand that sexual lust is a feeling, right? It's a feeling that is triggered by a sense of lack or disappointment or something that you haven't achieved in your prior life. Sexual the sexual lust feeling is that's how it's triggered, right? It's triggered as by a sense of lack. So basically, let me explain very quickly, because many people will call sexual lust a spirit of lust or whatever, which is fine. I would still call it the spirit of lust because I'm a spiritualist in a sense. Many people will call God energy or a different name. I still call him God because I have that humility to call this energy that people talking about God. So that's my God. But the spirit of lust is just a thought process. It's something in the brain that's kind of being triggered, right? So say for instance, I always like to give the reference or examples with food or whatever, right? If I eat a high sugar diet, let's say I eat like a whole piece of cake, like a whole cake, right? And we know cake has a lot of sugar in it. If I eat that whole cake in one setting, if I get a headache, that's all that is just a trigger. The cake has triggered a headache, right? It has triggered that. Okay, something went wrong in the body. Now you got a little your blood pressure is probably a little high now because you ate all this sugar in the cake. Now it's triggered a headache. It has triggered a signal for you to kind of like stop right now. You need to stop. So all sexual lustful feeling is just a trigger feeling. I would say something has triggered this feeling of your sexual nature, your sexual lust. Something has triggered it. It doesn't necessarily have to be a sight of someone beautiful or sexy or whatever. It doesn't always have to be that, but it can be that, right? So I'm gonna give you some examples as to certain things that'll trigger your sexual desires or sexual lusts, right? For instance, if we ponder on our weaknesses, right? Let's say we have a weakness, any weakness of any kind. Let's say we really wanted to become and I'm using this for an example. Let's say deep down we really wanted to become an NBA player, an NBA basketball player, but we just didn't have the height for it or something, or we just lacked the skills to play basketball. We sucked. You know what I mean? I don't mean to laugh, but I'm laughing at the example. Um, but what I'm trying to say is because of our how you say it, us dwelling on where we failed at, this automatically trigger the sexual lustful feeling because it's a feeling of lack. You lacked or you failed somewhere. Now that you're thinking about it, you're gonna run to porn or corn, or you're gonna run to something that's going to how you say it, get this feeling. It's the same feeling. It's the same feeling of lack. So if you were to kind of like define spiritual lust is also a spirit of lack, right? It's a spirit of lack. It's the same signal that goes to your head, if we're trying to get scientific, of course. The same feeling that you get when you have a sexual lustful feeling is the same feeling of lack. The same feeling that goes in your brain, the same thing. And they pretty much trigger each other in a sense, right? I'm really trying to explain it scientifically. I'm pretty sure our scientists will explain it much more better. But we have to catch it when it happens. We have to understand with this Christ awareness that you put on, this total self awareness. You tend to kind of catch it when it happens, but sometimes you don't have to catch it, because in most cases we dwell on the weakness. We need to stop dwelling on our weaknesses. Just because you are not good at basketball or any sport, don't mean you have to dwell on it. You have to think about it and dwell on it, and now you're sulking. Now you're stressed out because you didn't make it to the NBA. You need to what you need to do is focus on your strengths. Where are your strengths? We need to focus on our strengths, right? Like I said before in the beginning, the first thing you need to do is be aware of your weakness, right? Just be aware and let it be. You have to understand that we have strengths and we have weakness. Every single person have strengths and have their weaknesses. Every single person has light and darkness within them, right? We have to understand that every single person has light and darkness. So understand that we fail and we fail, and then we have some form of success. Understand that as people, we're not going to always have everything perfect in our life. We're going to have failure and we're going to have success. We need to not ponder on the things that we fail at. We have to ponder and think about the things that we are good at, the successes, the things that have happened in our life that you could call success, right? So when you start to ponder on the things that you are successful at or good at, or the things that we could focus on that we actually have in our lives, the abundance that we have, then there's no need to sow into our flesh or sow into something that gives us the mindset of that we're lacking in this situation, right? So we have to focus on positive, as I was saying in my last recording. We have to think about the positive stuff that's in our life. Like for me, if I were to ponder on the things that I'm good at, just to name a few, I'm good at my bike riding. I do buy, even though I haven't bike rode in a few weeks. I need to get back out there, but I bike ride, which I love to do. I'm good at gaming. I'm good at playing video games, playing my Street Fighter. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody messing with me on Street Fighter. I'm good at being helpful to people. I feel a sense of joy when I help people, which gives me the same. I guess it messes with my serotonin levels, or I would say my dopamine, right? So understand that the good things that you are good at will help with your dopamine and your serotonin levels, right? So like I said, with me being helpful and helping and being able to help those that are in need, it helps with my dopamine. It's the same feeling, right? It's the same feeling you get when you watch the corn or something. You know what I mean? But the thing is, you don't want to commit a sin. You don't want to have sin in your heart. You don't want to look at those evil things, eat those nasty things. You don't want to sow into your flesh, right? You don't want to, how you say it, flirt with other beings that's not your spouse, other people that's not your spouse or significant other. You don't want to flirt. Those give you the same dopamine levels, but the better way to give you those same dopamine high would be to focus on the things that you are good at. For me, I'm good at being helpful to people. It gives me those same dopamine feelings, that same high. What else I'm good at? I'm good at fixing things around the house. I'm handy like that. I know how to fix on cars a bit, little bit here and there. I'm good at budgeting, and I'm good at voice recording and recording, helping people out with my voice recordings or what have you. Things like that we need to kind of focus on and not focus on the lack. We need to stay away from the lack, things that we fail at or have failed at. You know, what else? We need to focus on the things that we have, like what we have, like the abundance of things that we currently have. We take for granted, right? We take a lot of things that we have for granted, the things that we have around us, our families, right? If you're married, let's say you're a man and you're married, you need to be grateful for what you have. You have a wife, you have kids, you may have some pets. I have a dog and a cat, you know what I mean? Like, I have abundance of things that most people don't even have, right? So I shouldn't be dwelling on the things that are lacking in my life. I understand there are things that I may need, um, but I shouldn't dwell on it because it's not required. I would say because it's gonna give me some guilt. It's gonna give me some shame. It's gonna want me to go back to the corn or flirting with something that I shouldn't be flirting with. So focus on the things that you have now. Like for me, I'm just using these as example. I hope people that listen to this could use what I'm saying as examples and use it to utilize it in your life. But for me, the things I could focus on that I have now is my family, of course, God, of course, this Christ awareness. I have God in my life. Health, good health, okay health, I should say. Life, life in itself. I have life. Fairly good. I have a fairly good relationship with people. I don't carry around grudges or have animosity to people. I don't hold ego anymore. Ego is gone. I don't walk around trying to find the bad in people. I already know that people are sinful by nature, and we have a negative nature, but I don't go around dwelling on people's negative nature because I know my fallibility. So I have a fairly good relationship with all people, and I'm gonna keep it that way, regardless of how they feel about me. Even the Bible says to love my neighbor as I love myself, but also to love my enemies, right? Regardless if they hate me, So it's not gonna be no animosity coming from me. You're not gonna get any bad vibes or bad energy coming from me. So yes, I'm gonna have a fairly good relationship with people. That's the things that I'm good at. I'm good at that. You know. What else? I have a shelter over my head. I have a car to drive, a vehicle. What else? What else do I need to list. I have an abundance of things, is what I'm saying. I have an abundance of things, is what I'm saying, and I need to not focus on the things that I'm lacking or cannot obtain at this time. We people tend to focus on the things that are unattainable at this time, and we always want a quick fix, and we want things very quickly. We always want the things that we cannot grab. Going back to the story of Adam and Eve. See, Eve in the garden, she had a whole abundance of fruit and herbs that she could have, eaten or what have you, but she still went after the fruit that was forbidden because of lack. She was tempted because of lack, or I should say, the thought of lack. It's really your mind that gets there. When you have an abundance of things, you took all. I should say, she took all the other fruits for granted. It's the same thing we doing today. We are all eating that forbidden fruit. If you guys didn't understand, everybody out here who is sowing into their flesh, I should say, or going and running after their negative nature, we are all eating from that forbidden fruit at this time, and not acknowledging the abundance of things that's in our lives, bro. The abundance of things that we are already, you know. If you're a wife, you are a good wife. You are a good mother. You know, you are good to people. You are a happy individual, right? You help where you need to help. You know what I mean? You have to list all of your achievements, and ponder who you are, and ponder the goodness of you, your positive nature. We need to focus on that, is what I'm saying. That's how we defeat lust once and for all. Remember what I said before. Sexual lust is a feeling that is triggered by a sense of lack, or not achieving a goal, or some sort, right? So if I were to put myself in another scenario, and I'm gonna give you guys a scenario. If I'm a man, which I am, if I'm a man that's of course married. I'm married, but I'm walking the street, or I'm somewhere, don't matter where I am, but let's say I'm walking the street, and I see a female, right? Now I'm gonna put two sides to this scenario, right? I see a female who is not attractive. Like, I don't have any attraction to this person. She looks a little funny, whatever. Her shape is off. We have to understand in our mind, like I said before, sexual lust is a feeling triggered by the sense of lack. Now, understand that when I looked at a woman that is unattractive, you have to get back into your mindset that my wife, in my mind, my wife is looking better than that woman that I'm looking at right now, who's unattractive. But you're not even thinking that, because you're unaware, right? You're unaware. But the reason being that this person is unattractive is because you have a wife that's attractive, right? We have a wife that's attractive. That's the whole point of you marrying her in the first place. That you found something in her that was attractive, right? Physically, I would say physically, if we want to call physicality or whatever. But when you see a woman that's unattractive, then your wife is a step up from this person, right? She's a level above this person in attraction. So there's no feeling of lack there, right? I said you're gonna look at your wife. You're gonna look at your wife and, like, okay, well, I have everything I need, you know. But not many people get there, Not many people see that, you know what I'm saying? Because when you're looking at this female that's unattractive, you're just automatically thinking, okay, well, that's another unattractive female, Even then, you're not really thinking about your wife. But anyway, let's go to the flip side, right? Because we remember I was telling you guys about when you get into a sexual lustful feeling, it's like a trance you're in. You're like in a bubble. You're in a water bubble that you cannot get out of, and you got to find strategies to get out of it. You know what I mean? It's all in your mind, literally. So when you're in this bubble filled with water, you lose all sense of rationality, I would say. All that is out the window. You're not even thinking rational right now. You're not even thinking about your wife, and you're not even thinking about God and his word. You're not even thinking about none of that stuff. You're feeling a spirit of lust right now. You want to fulfill this spirit of lust in whatever thought form you are thinking about right now, whatever release mechanism you're trying to do. So let's get back to the scenario. Now, when you're walking the street and you see a female, and I'm just using this as an example, any female could actually put themselves in my shoes if they want to. But for an example, I'm using the male figure. But anyway, if you're a male figure and you're walking the street and you see a female who is very, very attractive, she has booty. I ain't want to say that word. Damn, they gonna shadow ban me for saying that, right? But anyways, but she has a nice buttocks. Um, she has nice curves. She has a nice face, nice lips, whatever, nice hair, whatever it is that you find attractive, that is not your wife. Whatever it is you find attractive, um, that's where the sense of lack comes in. So, say for instance, you see this lady, and she has nice jet black hair, right? She may not look good in other areas of her physicality, but she has nice long jet black hair, like she's some sort of Indian or something or whatever. So a sense of lack will come into your head, like, wow, you know what? I don't have that. I don't have that at home. I don't have that at all. I don't have jet black hair, a female with jet black hair and it's very, very long, like Indians. That's when the desire comes in now. Your sexual feeling starts to come in. And you're thinking all kinds of craziness right now. Because of sense of lack of one little thing. Because you don't have it. Right? And that's when, like I said, that's where the Christ awareness comes in, where you have to put a stop to it right then and there, because now your brain has tricked itself into thinking that you lack something when you already have something good at home. Just because this female has jet black hair and it's very long, and your woman doesn't. She has a nice big booty. Your woman doesn't. She got a nice cleavage. She got nice lips, beautiful eyes, something that you don't have. Your mind automatically gives you a false representation of lack, that you lack this thing. You don't lack it. You don't lack any, you know what I'm saying? You have a good person at home that you actually married for a reason. You married this person for a reason, right? People have to understand that um, there's always something out there that's better or looks more attractive. So if I have a wife, there's always gonna be a female that looks better than my wife. I mean, we have to just understand that. I hate to say it, but there's always gonna be something more attractive. I'm driving my car, my truck. There's always gonna be a better looking truck than mine, right? And I'm looking at the truck, whatever truck it is or vehicle it is. I'm like, damn, that look nice. Oh, look at that color, it's shiny. I like the paint on that, stuff like that. It gives you a false representation of lack when you look at these things. That is right. But with the Christ awareness, you get to understand, like, look, man, I have an abundance of a lot of stuff. I'm good. I already have abundance. I already have a wife. I already have everything that I need. So the main focus is to focus, I would say the main focus is to focus on the things that we are good at, to focus on the things that we have, and to focus on the things that we are good, like I said, the things that we are good at, the things that we have strengths, I should say our strengths. Focus on our strengths and focus on our the things that we have now, right? Focus on the things that we have. So yes, we have to understand and get to a place of awareness where we have to understand that our spouses are our spouses. We love them, but they're just humans, right? But there's always gonna be someone that looks better than them, or speaks better than them, or have an accent. There's always gonna be something better than what we have, right? There's always gonna be something better. Somebody has a better, bigger house or than mine. Doesn't mean I have to go get it. Doesn't mean I have to go touch it. Doesn't mean I have to go sow into my flesh to go get this lady or whoever. Doesn't mean I have to sin. See, this is what's wrong with pornography, because if you think about pornography, When you open corn or any site that has corn, it gives you a false representation of abundance. You see all kinds of stuff on there with you see all kinds of categories. You have options, bro. It's like you going to a fast food restaurant. I'm sorry. It's like you going to a fast food restaurant, whatever it is, McDonald's, Wendy's, and any other fast food restaurant, and you have an abundance and variety of different choices, bro. We got the number one, the number two, number three, number four, number five, all the way to number 10. We got the dollar menu. I don't even know if they have the dollar menus no more. That price done went up. We got the $2 menu. But what I'm saying, just for an example, pornography gives you a false representation of abundance. But you would only go to corn because you feeling you feeling that sexual lust desire. You feeling the same desire that is a sense of lack. It's all in the mind. It's all in the subconscious, right? That feeling of lack, like you lack something. Oh, my wife lacking something. I'm gonna go find it on pornography, whatever it is. I'm gonna go find that. Oh, my wife don't have a big enough chest. I could find it in corn, and I could, release myself on this being, this person, whoever that has a bigger chest or long hair like an Indian. That's what's wrong with porn. That's what's wrong with it because it gives you a false representation of abundance. Once you open it up, you have all access and all categories of different categories. You know, we have to get away from that. We have to, like I said, we have to be aware of. At first, we have to be aware of our weaknesses. If it's sexual lust, which I am weak to, of course, to this day, we have to be aware of it, but don't ponder on the weakness. We have to ponder on our strengths, bro. Ponder on the things we are good at. Set your sights on the things that you have, like that you have today. You may have a lot. You're not dwelling on it. You're not thinking about it. We have to think about the things we are good at, man. You know, we have to think about the things we are good at. And if you think you're not good at something, go find something to do and learn something new and be good at that one thing. You have to have mastery, man. You have to be a master of your craft, whatever it is. Be the master of it. If you put things together with your hands, like toothpicks or something, I don't know. You put toothpicks together, or if you good at playing Uno and or chess, and you the best at it. No one could beat you. Let that be your mastery. Be a master at it. That's your strength. You good at it. You don't need corn. You don't need pornography. And you don't need to sow into your flesh and sin. And even if you get tempted, there's God has a way out for you. All you have to do is think about the abundance of things you already have. You already have a wife. I already have a wife. That's beautiful, and I know her strengths. She may be lacking in this area of physicality, but I understand. I know her. You know what I'm saying? She's good with my children. She gives me peace, bro. She gives me peace. You know, she don't argue. She don't fight with me. You know what I mean? Like she gives me peace. I can sleep well. I ain't waking up to craziness, arguing all the time, and slaps in the face. And we ain't arguing, fighting. It's not toxic. My relationship with her is not toxic. You know what I mean? Like, she ain't gotta have all that stuff. She ain't gotta have what this female has. She ain't gotta have more money or any more money like this how this female has. This female has more money. You know, I think it's more on the vice versa with women or men or whatever. Women tend to, think that their men are lacking in that sense of security, of money, or they think carnal in that sense, and they want to sow into their flesh and cheat. No, you have to focus on the strengths of your husband. What was the reason why you married this person? If he ain't toxic, then you didn't. What's the problem? You know what I mean? No problem. You have to understand that there's no perfect person, regardless. There's no perfect person. Even the person you married ain't perfect. They ain't gonna be perfect at all. They may irritate you. They may irritate you, right? But what was the reason for you to get married? Remember that. Get back to that. So, like I said before, when it comes to sexual lust and that sexual lustful feeling, it's triggered by a sense of lack, right? It's triggered by a sense of lack or something that you haven't achieved, a goal. My recommendation for you guys and for myself, I can speak for myself, is to not reminisce or think about what you've lacked or something that you haven't achieved in life. Do not reminisce on that. Stop thinking about it. Think about the things you are good at, the things that you have done, that you have achieved, whatever success it is. Think about the things that you have, the good things, the things that you have today, right now, and embrace that stuff. Embrace it and thank God for it. Thank God for this thing, these little things that I have. Thank God for it. That's it, man. And ponder on that and get out of this sexual lustful nature that kind of controls us and keeps us in shackles. All it is a sense of lack. It's all in the brain. Literally, it's all in the brain. You know. If you guys want to still get spiritual, let's call it sexual. The spirit, a sexual lustful spirit of lust. Let's call it that. If to my people, that's spiritual. But all in all, like I said, it's always a sense of lack. So we need to focus on our strengths. Focus on our strengths. Focus on the things that we are good at, and focus on what we have today, right now. That's it. That's it. That's all I want to talk about, man. I'll leave y'all alone. I'll leave y'all alone. Good night or good morning. Well, it's good morning on my side, but if you're listening, good morning. Wherever time you're listening this to, I don't know what time, but whatever time you listen, good morning, good evening, and good night to you guys. This is Daniel once again, your host of Notice TV. Catch you guys later. If you guys and girls made it this far, press that like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this on my Facebook page, take the time to subscribe to my YouTube page at Notice TV. That's all caps, NOTICE TV. I'll catch you later and may God bless you.